Some people are phase shifted, meaning that their nighttime sleep periods are shaped the same, but they are shifted earlier or later. The layperson terms for this are morning person and night person. The psychological nicknames are larks and owls, and hummingbirds for those who are neither. But also know that the research terms are morning types, oftentimes just abbreviated as MT, evening types, ETs, and neither types, NTs. Morning types are shift advanced, meaning they prefer to go to sleep earlier and awaken earlier. Evening types are shift delayed, meaning they prefer to go to sleep later and awaken later. But most people are NTs, meaning that they are not phase shifted at all. These are not just preferences. Morning types, in fact, are most alert and performing at their best earlier in the day, and evening types are most alert and performing at their best later in the day. Neither types, by the way, show equal performance earlier and later in the day. Even though phase shifting is usually less than an hour earlier or later than the norm, meaning that MTs and NTs are less than 2 hours apart. Because the S process and the C process work in concert. Remember that model? Hey, that was Borbelli's two-process model. This can produce up to 4 hours of differences in alertness and in best performance. Now, here's an encouraging note. Larks and owls have proven to be pretty flexible when this is required by their classes or jobs. The performance effect can be attenuated by adjusting your sleep schedule to meet the requirements, even though it may not be your preferred schedule. Many people also use wake aids during their non-peak times, like coffee or energy drinks. A couple other documented differences: evening types, owls, tend to experience less jet lag and tolerate night shifts better than morning types and neither types. Finally, there is a developmental effect on phase shifting. Most kids are neither types, and any preferences for morning type or evening type later appear, usually between 6 and 12 years of age. And then this tends to remain stable through middle adulthood. When we turn elderly, most of our shifts advance, meaning most of us will develop into morning types, regardless of what we were earlier. This effect is true of both genders in older age, but it is most pronounced in women. Trying to stay up later than normal, of course, involves effort. But there appears to be a personality component at play here too. You might recall from our last lecture that Lavi was presented with a problem in 2009 by the Israeli military. Well, almost all soldiers handled their night watches fine or learned to when punished for falling asleep. A few simply could not stay alert, no matter how extreme the imposed sanctions were. Lavi, in his Night Watch study, tested these individuals, now called sleepy people, in many ways, and showed that it truly was biologically impossible for them to stay awake all night. He also found the opposite: alert people, just a few soldiers, who found staying awake during night watches unusually easy. Lavi concluded that this is a personality trait because it is normally distributed and durable over a lifetime. When we say normally distributed, we mean most people by far have some difficulty staying awake later than normal, but they can if they have to. Only a few simply cannot. And on the other side of the coin, only a few who appear to have very little or no difficulty staying alert much later than normal. a bell-shaped curve, right? With most people landing in the middle. While most people by far do not fall into either category, Lavi calls these extremes sleepy people and alert people, respectively.